Hey everybody, welcome back to Kevin's one-stop shop where no job's too big, no job's too small. Today I'm in my 2005 2500 HD and I have issues with the blower motor working in only number 5. It makes a lot of noise, and also the blender door on the driver's side does not fully go to cool, so it blows warmer air on the driver's side than it does on the passenger side. So what I'm going to show you is if you look, when this thing is in 1, it doesn't work. 2, it doesn't work. 3, it doesn't work. 4, it doesn't work. 5, it works, but it feels like the blower motor's about to tear itself up. So there's a resistor right underneath the bottom floorboard down there that causes this issue here. So what it was doing was it only would work in 5 for a while, so I was limping by with that. And now that the blower motor started making all that racket, it's time to go ahead and replace all these. The blender door has been acting up for a while too, but I've kind of just been dealing with it. So anyway, I'm going to show y'all where these things are located and do my best to show you how to remove the stuff and how to replace it. Alright, so to start with, you'll notice under here it's going to be kind of hard for me to show you. But on the driver's side, close to the driver's side, you can kind of see that little hole. There's one screw there. There's going to be another screw. You're probably not going to be able to see it. I'm going to try to show it to you. But there's another screw located kind of directly under where the ashtray is. If you come on around, there's another screw located kind of further back. I don't know if you can see the hole right there. And then if you come all the way over right towards the kick plate on the passenger side door, there's 4 screws. Alright, so they're pretty small screws. You can see here, the head's very small. And what works for me is it looks like it is a 9/32. And so what I did was to get this one out right here that's kind of right in the middle under the ash, directly located in line with the ashtray, kind of under the bottom. It's not very much room. It's probably only about 2 inches of space between the carpet and this black cover. And so what I used was this extension. So I would just put it up on there, twist it till I could tell that it was there. And once it's there, I got a little small ratchet that I was able to loosen it up. And once you get it loose, you can pretty much, it's finger tight. You can take the ratchet off and spin it off. So anyway, there's going to be 4 screws. Once again, there's one all the way over there towards the edge of the driver's side. Then there's one, if you look, it's kind of in line with the ashtray. You go down and up under. It's going to be hard for me to show you. And then you come on down, and there's another one right here, about middle ways of the glove box door. And then there's another one right there close to the kick plate. Okay, so if you look right here, this is going to be your blender door actuator for the driver's side. So I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to gradually go in so you can kind of tell. So it's right where the hump starts on the passenger side. There's two 7/32. There's 2 7/32 bolts that holds that on. Now if you look on this side and on the passenger side, you can see the blower motor. And you can see the little red and black plug that goes to the blower motor, and then it goes to this other plug, and I'm going to try to show you the best I can because it's kind of up in here. Hopefully you can see that. But anyway, all this right here is that resistor. So if your blower motor's acting up, if your blower speeds are acting up, it's most likely going to be this resistor. You take those 2 7/32 screws out, that'll drop down, and you'll replace that resistor and your blower motor speed should start back working. However, with mine making the noise it's making, I'm going to look at pulling that blower motor out too and replacing it. And I believe there's also some kits online to where the plug will mess up, not just the resistor. And I think it comes with another plug. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I replaced mine, so I'm going to have to do a little research on that. I'm kind of new to posting videos on YouTube, so if I can find a link to where I get that resistor from, I'll try to add it, but apologize in advance if I'm unable to do that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and try to get this blower motor out, the resistor, and the damper actuator, and get back to you shortly. Okay, so on the actuator, like I said before, it's like right up in here. And you loosen the 2 screws out. They look like they're brass colored. and it just kind of, you gotta wiggle it, but it'll drop straight down. And you can see this hole right there, that big hole, that's where the blend door goes in there. And you can see it's keyed because it's got flat spots on it. And all it does is once you unloosen the screws, it's kind of a tight fit in there. So it may just be that the that's kind of tight on the shaft where the blend, where it's hooked to the blend door. But anyway, drop that down, and now you have that out. And there's some part numbers that hopefully will help you out. Okay, so now for the resistor. It's mounted up here like I was telling y'all before, up by the passenger side. And you know, you can see here I undone the plug. You basically just pull that little clip back and pry it down. I kind of use a screwdriver to open the clip and then pull down. It comes out fairly easy. The black and red wire is still attached to the blower motor. But once you get those two screws out right there, then you drop it straight down, and you can see there's a resistor in there. And that thing will go bad, and it'll cause your blower speeds to mess up. But you can see it's still hooked to that blower motor. I got to figure out how to get that plug off, and then everything will be off. Okay, I'm not sure how well you can see this or not, but if you look at the blower motor, there's a tab right here. That tab is pointing towards the driver's side. All you have to do is pull this tab down and twist this thing counterclockwise, and the whole thing will rotate and fall out. That is the easiest blower motor I've ever taken out. So that little tab right there, you pull it down and it's pointing towards the driver's side. You just barely pull it down and rotate it counterclockwise, and this whole thing falls out. So you can see now I've got my blend door actuator. Now this is the part number off my truck. I don't know how well they work, how compatible they are with other ones, but anyway, that's what I'm gonna have to try to hunt down. And then you can see here that I have the blower motor and I have the resistor all together. So I'm gonna have to go get these parts, and once I get the parts and get ready to go back together, I will pick up from there. Okay, one last thing I was wanting to show you before I go for now and have to go start hunting down parts. But you can see that, like I said before, all the parts are out. So what I did was I replugged that resistor back up with it hanging down, and you can see now that the blower motor's out. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn the, I wouldn't really recommend doing this because you could get hurt, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn that fan on real quick and just let you hear the noise that that blower motor's making, which convinces me that I need a motor as well. So hold on one second. I'm gonna see if I can do this while holding the phone as well. Alright, so here's the blower motor. I'm gonna turn it to 5. So that's 1's not doing nothing, 2, 3, 4, and here goes 5. You can see and hear the racket that it's making. So that tells me that blower motor's bad, so while I'm here, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it all. Okay, got all my parts in the mail. You can see I got my new actuator, resistor, blower motor. I just went to Amazon and ordered all this stuff. Of course, it took a couple days. I tried cross-referencing some of the numbers. It didn't seem to work, so I just pretty much ordered based on the application. And if you read the description really well, it looks like it covers everything. But you can see the new actuator looks like all the holes line up on the resistor. From the outside, everything looks the same. On the back side of this and this, the plugs match. You can see it came with a new plug in the event your old one was bad. Articles I've read, this has melted before. Mine, fortunately not, so I don't have to replace that. And then the blower motor, pretty much looking at it, if you orient the tabs the same, they line up, the plug matches. Looks like it lines up. Don't really see a whole lot of differences in it. You do have this tube right here looking thing. I believe that may be where it gets air to cool the motor. And on this one it looks a little different. I did test fit it and it did snap in. So I'm thinking everything's going to be fine. One thing I just like to remind people before you go back with it, I'm going to try to turn this motor and orient it the way that it would go up in reference to this tab. So if you got this motor going up in the housing, you can see that tab to the left would be facing directly towards your driver's side. Now when you go to put it in, you're going to need to rotate it just a little bit, pointing towards the front of the truck, so that when you turn it clockwise, it'll be back oriented facing directly towards the driver. So you'll push this up in there kind of hard with it rotated, and then you'll turn it clockwise less than a quarter of a turn to where that tab's oriented towards the driver's side, and it should fall right into place. Alright, so I've got the actuator back reinstalled, the resistor and the blower motor. So it'll be the first time I'm trying this out. So like I said before, it mentions on the actuator, do not plug it in and turn the car on until you've got it hooked up so it don't overrange it. So I basically bolted it up, plugged it in, and now I'm fixing to try everything out for the first time. So here we go. I already got the ignition on. Let's try the blower. There's one. You can't really hear it, but I do feel air. Number 2, 3, 4, 5. So all 5 speeds are working right. So that and the blower's not making all the racket it was before. So that at least tells me that that's working well. So I'm gonna go ahead and crank up my truck, see how the AC's blowing. Alright, so now that we got that running, I'm going to let the truck warm up for a second, and then I will go ahead and make sure that the damper on the driver's side is working right. Okay, so I got the truck cranked up. It's about 71 degrees out here right now. It's early in the morning. I'm going to go ahead and try this out and see how it works. The driver's side vents were not blowing as cold as what you would start calling the passenger side vent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the air on, see what it does, and compare the two temperatures side by side. This side was probably about 10 degrees warmer than this side before with the old actuator, so I'm going to see if it looks like that. The actuator is going from full cold to full hot. Alright, so I'm going to turn it on number 5. You can see I got the AC on and got the temperature ran all the way down, and of course it feels really cold because it's cool this morning, but in comparison between the two vents, it does feel like they're blowing about the same temperature. So let's go ahead and see what kind of temperature air we're getting out of the driver's side of the actuator that was replaced. One thing I don't like about these meters, it does seem like it takes a little bit of time for the temperature to actually respond. I'm going to swap and see. You can see it looks like it's working its way a little bit lower and lower each time. I don't want to sit here and waste everybody's time by watching a bunch of numbers move around, so I'm going to go ahead and swap sides and see if it looks like exactly similar. So from what I can see without wasting everybody's time, just sitting here watching the numbers read up and down, looks like to me that it's definitely doing about the same. You know, you see the logos down and about the same on each side. So anyway, at least by comparison, the way it feels, they feel like they're the same. So I'm going to try to run this up on both sides. Now, the truck hasn't been running that long, so granted, with it being a diesel, it takes forever to warm up. So it's not going to go to its full peak hot temperature that it normally would. But really what I'm looking at is just making sure that when I run it up to hot, this side feels the same as this side, and with the back of my hand it feels the same. I'm just going to put this meter in here just for a second and see what it does. You can see, of course, it's blowing hotter with it adjusted up. Let's just say it went up to about 80-ish. Let's check this side. So this side's doing about the same, about 80. So looks like it's a success. My blower motor's not making a bunch of racket. The speeds are working, and it looks like the blend actuator is pretty much working correctly. So I hope this video helps out. If y'all would give me some thumbs up, thumbs down, leave me some comments so I can make this video better. If there's anything that I need to change for future videos, I'm trying to put some things out there that would help people out. Anyway, just leave me a comment. This will help me make my videos better and maybe help someone else out in the future. Y'all have a great day, and I hope this helped y'all out. Thank you now. Bye.